Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This is Bevarol. Since we have seen all the new elite spec for the upcoming expansion, Guild Wars 2 Vision of Eternity, seen the skills, traits, the streams, so we know enough about them now, and I thought why not make a tier list to rank them. This is my first tier list video, and it's gonna be about my own opinion obviously, and I will have a specific way how I rank them. So it will be, I'm looking into the design, if I have problem with it, if I just like it, if I think it's good enough the way it is now. Also how many ways it can be played, like for condition, power, melee, range, support. The more it offers, obviously the higher it will be. And did the design offer something new to the class? Did it add to it, like to strengths, made it even better? Did it close the gap of its weakness it had and made it stronger in this method? So the more it have in those aspects, the better it will be upon this ladder. So S is like for the winners who did everything. It's just crazy and like it's just unquestionable in a way. And A, it will be for those who's close enough. So it's making the class better, giving it something unique that it have to be played, like a role that didn't have him before, or give it all the other roles if the class already has them. So it just will appeal to everyone. Have a very unique design, but just not enough to have like almost everything and go into S. B is for those who make the cut, like they're already good for what they're designed, they do it well, they don't have problems or anything. And C for those who actually lower than expected, not good enough, or have some weaknesses, even so some strengths. And D is for bad, and I don't think any of them will make it to D. I think none of those classes actually bad. I think they are all good enough, even so if not all actually the best. So let's start with example for Luminary. I think ArenaNet went with an idea in mind or approach for all the new elite spec for this expansion, which is looking into the core class in a way its function and trying to build into something from that. Or I think at least most of them work this way. So take this Guardian for example. It's the first elite spec for Guardians that still have the same virtues from the core skills and only added to Witch's Shroud. So it didn't change it. It play like a core Guardian but with a little bit more finesse or advantages. It's tanky, bruisery, it can lower damage, it have bones, cleanses, heals, everything can work in support. Its icon is a shield, even so the biggest thing about it is this lamp that it's working with, so it's designed to really look like a tank or a bruiser that protect its team. And look into some classes, some skills for it, and it will show you this, like the healing skill, like it looked like a version of Burst Stance for Soulbeast with the traits it share with allies. It heal, cleanse, and heal for the cleanse, all that in one skill. So it's really built into this idea. It feels like a core Guardian, but it's just better. You don't just have the skills of the virtue, it have more. Even so, you still change your weapons through this shroud mechanic, but like I said, it's built into the actual core and make it an actual elite. So you have more than just core, but you still have the core and feel the same thing. My bad take on it is the small little bar for the shroud that you can't see how much light it is. Like it blinding blue, it really need to be toned down. I would like if it was just like sharpening your character with a blue light, not make the character completely blue or something like that. Imagine playing this months and months on end with this much blue light, you're gonna really strain your eyes. So since I have some takes on it and stuff, I'm not sure where to put it, but I want to be harsh on this, so I would actually put it in C, which is good enough as it is. It's not bad, like we said, not a single class of them is bad, but it lacks. It only can be played power, but it can be played for support. You can add condition to it, like hybrid builds and stuff, but that's for like competitive. You can't do that in PvE. It's mainly focused on melee too. Like I said, the way it's designed or the way it looks, because this shroud is just crazy. So I'm tempted to put it in A, but I'm only put it in C because, like I said, I want to be a little bit harsh on this. Now let's go with the Troubadour. Troubadour can be played condition, power, support. It can be tanky or it can be played anything in a way. It can be played in melee. It can be adjusted for range. It almost have it all. It removed the clone style, like you won't have copies of you all around, even for solo builds in PvE that will take damage from you, take the boss off you for a moment and you keep moving around it. No, but you have heals, you have barriers, stuff like that. So it took the same approach of Virtuoso, but didn't make it this idea of focusing on damage. It make it a sustain kind of style, if you ask me. Like you have this trait for condition builds for loot to give it like torment condition, and you can heal from torment and confusion if I remember correctly, so you have a lot of heals with this idea of also having a flow, like the cooldowns are not this big for the shatters and they can linger in the background doing more effects. So it's really good. I like the design of the tails skills, especially like the elite who's now shared distortion. Not sure if it's gonna make it to the final cut of the game or it's gonna be blur or even less. Also the Scarlet Briar one for condition builds. So I really like the design. I usually don't like the idea of Bard in general, and they look ugly in many games with just notes floating around. It's like it feels so out of place, and I think I like this one. It's a Guild Wars takes. It's not just pretty or something like this. It feels like a proper class that do something. So this one is going for A action. This is good enough that besides the balance or any changes will happen to it, I think it's really good. It open up all possibilities in gameplay for it. It just have a place everywhere. You're not just walking away from it. I need to play just Virtuoso this and ignore it, or play just Chronomancer. No, this thing will be played no matter what style you want. You still have a build you can run with it. Now let's go with Paragon as a warrior, for example. So some warrior had bad takes on it, some warriors really like it. I do not main warrior, but let's say that the main problem with it is how spammy it is, and you really need to play in a flow state, not reactive. You need to play in a proactive way. What do I mean by that? So take for example the healing skill, if I remember correctly, with heal and then with cleanse in this echo. So if you want cleanse, you have to heal and then wait for the echo, or use a burst skill to trigger it immediately, which means still while casting those back to back, the condition ticking on you. So you either have other condition and you have access to this thing, repeative thing, or you see the condition will be coming. So now you have cleanse, you keep moving from this skill, this skill, this skill, and you keep up your motivation. I do not mind the playstyle myself, since I played, for example, for Druid. Like Healing Spring, you'd see me heal even when I don't need to. I stand in it, so now the condition will come in, I will keep cleansing them. This idea of securing myself already, having more cleanses. So I would trigger another if I don't have this, and then another if I don't have the, and the cycle go on. So this idea of having a fall flow, you always have something. You don't see this, now you dodge it. You got hit by that, you immediately heal or immediately cleanse. No, this just a reactive gameplay. Don't have to play it. So I don't have the same problem with Warrior, but I see it there for people who've seen it, but also have some really interesting skills, like the fact it can prevent you to die from using the elite. It offers some great and insane healing capabilities, like boons on everything. So I think it's very good design, but it also like it's a power class. It can be played support, focus a little bit on melee. But in my opinion, since I don't have significant problem, at least from the design, like the Luminary, so I would at least have to take it to B. It doesn't offer enough to go to A, like the Troubadour, but it's also I wouldn't put it as down as C, so I'll put it in B. Honestly, I'm tempted to take the Guardian to B, but I will keep it in C. Now let's go with something was more controversial. I would go with Antiquary. So I do not have any problem with Antiquary like some people do. I think it's logical, I think it makes sense, and I think it's funny and cute and amazing looking, and it's the most ever I see in a class make me interested about Thief, or at least it makes Thief look enjoyable to me, even so I do not like Thief, do not even like playing Thief. Why? Let's look at it from the core perspective. Like we talked about this, a core side. So for the core Thief, you have an elite skill when you summon a gang, a bandit group that will actually help you. Why? For the humans, there is those bandits everywhere in around the human city. They are thieves, bandits, steal from people, and criminal, stuff like that. And you are a thief, so you are part of the same thing. So you summon your friends, practically, which is a lower accurate, something very good and tied into the world. I think it's smart. So what the other thieves that exist? Since the entire expansion is about Noran helping other races to get the Evoker, Kansa helping with the Ritualist, the Tango made the Ranger have this. So what other race would deal with this idea of crime? It's the script. So it had to be the script. I think it's very smart and it's really good in the lore. I like the script myself. They are one of the most interesting races. If you ask me what race would you like to be added to the game, I would not say Tango, like most people. I actually like the script. Even so, I don't think it really fit from the lore perspective because they are dumb if they are alone and this thing. But I like the script since day one, and I've been playing this game like for 11 years or something. So I like them. I think they are cute and funny and everything. And now since you're a thief that's progressing and see other gangs and other criminal activity, so script made sense to help you. And it worked again with the core style focused on what really made Thief special, and it's not the stealth, it's not the mobility, even Mesmer had that, it's a stealth, it's a steal skill. So it focused really on that and built into it as the most. And even the fact that I would honestly, like you, I see it a little bit weird, and the guitar. This is the only thing that I see it as a little bit weird. But you should object to it from the way it was added to the game with a Metal Legion event like a concert, and this doesn't really fit in Terria, but people just loved it. So I guess you have to accept that such thing, even the relic, the guitar exists in the game. And also the idea of what it brings us stuff from everywhere in the world. You just have a script will dig and give you something like that. Well, where is everything you carry? Where is your bags that carry everything? Where is the arrows for ranger that never end? Where is your weapon if you switch to another? Like this idea of fitting logic into the game will not work. Some games would do that, go extremely logical in what they think to do, and believe me, they are not fun. So I do not have any problem with the Antiquary except on how strong or overpowered it could feel. Thieves are a problem for the competitive side, at least, because they have too much mobility and stealth. They are just annoying. And if they are group up, they are a group of gankers you can't really deal with. Doesn't matter what you play, unless you play another thief and you simply can run away, because the moment they catch you, you're dead. So you adding to that something or a teleport skill that can work repeatedly 2 times if treated right, without even the risk, and then the third, and now you can stun break. This is just insane, especially that can still be played with the same skills. Like you can use that with Shadow Step, you can use that with the short bow and with the sword, and it's just there. So I think it's a little bit crazy and can be more dangerous. Instead of trying to fix the problem of Thief being broken on this side of the game, you add to it. So this is a little bit concerned. But how the class is designed, I think it's just one of the most beautiful classes of them. I love the funny little things about the script. And I see the people make the argument it's a meme class, but I don't see it this way. Like I said, this is about my own opinion. Obviously, feel free to disagree. But because of that, I will put it in A. Thief is really great. I really like this class, honestly. Now, let's go with some of the last. Let's go with the Revenant. So I think the new Revenant, the conduit, is one of the safest method I have seen them develop. And let's pick. It's like it have a little bit of everything. It will just give you a better that, better this, and even the new legendary stance itself, it have a shadow step. It have good damage, some cleave here, some tanking here, some cleansing. Like it really played safe. So I think I like it because it offers many things at the same time. And it takes this like reduction for damage for 75%. Like the shadow step on it is slow. Some people would hate that, the way it's very obvious when it's gonna teleport. But honestly, every shadow step should have been this way, slow and noticeable when it will work, instead of having it being stupidly strong on classes that have it, like Thief and Mesmer, stuff like that. I like it in general. It has some good animation. It can be played in many forms. You can go for support, for power, for condition. I'm not really expert on Revenant, but I think it can be played, like you can really make builds that will work. So I would say, because of the safe aspect of it, it will not go into A. I would give it only B. Like I said, I want to be harsh on the design, not just let's put it higher, let's put higher. No. So I would go put this into B, actually. Now, I want to go with the Evoker. So this is a little bit of great or stupidly great into things, and disappointing in another. So one of the craziest thing I found with it is the cleanse. Like one of the skills for the outer, if you use it with the outer, it can cleanse and give you multiple regeneration with a trait for LEs that will cleanse for every regeneration. So it like cleanse like 10 condition, and also, if I remember correctly, for allies, but I can't be sure. So it's like every 20 seconds, it's a complete cleanse. And you know Ellie, They are already have crazy level of cleansing and healing and stuff. So remember Druid clarity for Druid that got nerfed to the ground? Yeah, let's give that again, but to the Ellie this time, which already had better cleanses than most classes. Obviously depend on the build, but if it run survival build or high survivability build. So and on another side, there's few things that doesn't feel cooked enough. Like this is feel like the most beta class out of them, really. Like it needs some work. Like the developer talked already if the weapon, like if the auto attack will trigger the mechanic and refill it for the new bits style or the familiars or not. Also the trades that make you only one element wizard. So I guess they trying to focus on the fun aspect, giving people what they really wanted. Like they give rangers a full archer and give a single element wizard, like the fire wizard meme. So they really focus on that, and I think it's good that they're trying to give us what we want, but I don't think it's cooked enough. So I'm not sure about this one. Have crazy things and have weaker things. So I think it's not finished enough, so I would put it actually in C. Now let's go with something crazy, which is Ritualist. So Ritualist, in my opinion, one of the best they made this time. It can be played power and it can be played support. It have a DPS build and a quickness DPS build actually. From the traits, it can be played in range, it can be adjusted for melee, but it cannot go for the condition side. It have great survivability, healing even inside the shroud. So it filled some of the gaps that Necro have. Necro used to be the slow thing that doesn't survive enough against the CC, so it doesn't have many access to stability, struggle also same. This have changed across the year, especially on the hand of the Harbinger. Mobility, no longer tanky and supposed to just soak damage through the shroud, and with the latest balance patch, they added support on the staff with a stability now, which made Necro crazy powerful, insanely powerful actually. This thing have stability on the mechanic, have multiple boons, have healing inside shroud, have shadow step inside shroud to add more in the mobility. Its own cleanse, half cleanse. I mean, it sounds like a joke, but it's literal. If you run the trait that enhance the weapons and make the weapon skills add weapons, it's a new type skill for the rituals. It's called something weapons. I can't remember, spirit weapons or something like that. It will make them cleanse condition, and one of them can cleanse condition over time. So you literally your cleanse have cleanse. So I think it's great. It adds block to a necromancer with a mechanics that cannot be removed. It adds elite that literally heal you for the difference in damage between hit and what you took in damage. If it's more than 5% of your health, you can share those skills with your allies. So I think it just great. I think it looks great for the spirits. I really like it. Even so, it's much different than Guild Wars 1, which I never played, but I know it's different. I like this one. I really like this one. I think it's good enough, even so it didn't offer anything, but it's good enough to actually go into this. It's just this good. If I would stick to the harsh side, I'll probably put it into A because it's like the Troubador, but I guess I like it enough in how much it offers and I put it into S. Let's continue with the harsh and keep it into A, but it's the top A. Like there is a difference. This one is really good. Let's go with the Amalgam. This is hands down the winner of the expansion. It just like it goes to S straight. There is no discussion about it. If you watch the stream, you'd probably most likely would feel the same way I do. This thing can be played condition, can be played power, can it have survivability, it have cleanse, it have heals, it can be very tanky, it have close gaps, serious control over the field. Actual defense is not just some healing, it have blocks, it have everything. Literally, like one of the defense it have stance skills, which is a new thing. And you can make stance skills from the traits cleanse condition. Guess what? You have a relic like Bavanisus, which makes stance cleanse condition again. A lot of survivability. It can really, it heals with multiple traits. It have too many boots, have alacrity, it have quickness. And not only that, and not only it's good looking, not only it's really exciting to play and have new mechanics like removing barrier, which is crazy, it also take a new take on engineer. With the change, with the morph skills and the evolve, on the tool build skill, instead of tool build skill, you have the morph and the evolve. It made it not only feel like an elite spec, it made it feel like a whole new class in the game. Still feel like an engineer, but with fresh things enough that it feel like more. So this one is great. It have a trait will give you poison and all the new skills, which immediately turn it into a condition build. It's just perfect. It can be played hybrid. So it over everything. It's so good. Even the range for it melee have a good control. It's just good. That's all what I can say. It's an ST. And because of it especially, it made me have more problems with the Gale Shot. So once I watched the first stream, I made a video about the Gale Shot, and I made another video analyzing specifically the skills and everything. And we had the Gale Shot, the Luminary, and the Troubador. So I thought AreaNet will go with this approach when you always like sacrificing something. You only try to build into a focus idea. So for the Luminary, you only had like another Guardian or a core Guardian, but add a little bit to it. It only can be played in like power and support. So it's quite limiting in, or optimally limiting in, if you want to play it like optimal way. The Troubadour have all the build styles, but it sacrifices the clones. So I thought you have this like balancing idea and how you want to make things. So with this one actually being the Dream Archer, they give Ranger focus onto the core thing. You start the game, go with Ranger with your bear or Drake bit or something, you use your longbow and you keep wanting to hit enemy from far, moving from a target to another. They give you that. Not only that, they give you that on a really good design. With a bow you can always access. Doesn't really have a cooldown, so on accessing it, obviously the skills have, which is great. However, this is the weakest class by design from the survivability side. It's designed to be a damage dealer, and so it have like a DPS and a quick DPS type. This is the only class of all of them that doesn't have much survivability or condition cleanse or anything. The only condition cleanse it have is the heal skill will cleanse too. That's it. There is no stability, there is no protection, there is no any boons. It gives you swiftness and quickness. You can't even give yourself might. You are really locked down with this class. So the idea was how to compensate for this. Bit choices is the fact that you still have two other weapons. So imagine running like double mace with hammer. Too much barrier protection, some healing, so you feel very tanky. First of all, you lost the archer style. You're still stuck with the melee ranger, because the ranger optimally used with melee builds. Even the only true range weapon we had, which like the longbow, had so many downsides, it's a bit broken. You use your knockback, skill 4, use now skill 2, and you have nothing. In PvE, yeah, good luck, maybe you can land skill 5, but that's it. It's not really an archer, you feel rooted in place, it has so many problems with it. And in competitive, you always count on the class itself, like for Soulbeast, for the modifiers, stuff like that. The weapon itself doesn't really work. Imagine hitting like a warrior or a thief or whatever, you knock them back and press skill 2. They dodge it, they close gap, and you have nothing. Not a single skill more will land on them. So instead of fixing the longbow, they give us this one. I don't think that's a problem. The fact that give us a class with an actual archer that always work as an archer is great. Even if they fix the longbow on the long run, now you still have two. You have two bows. That's great. However, there is many other problem. You either sacrifice the actual archer, like we give an example, and even using something like the hammer, it's a bit disappointing. If you run the tanky side of it, it doesn't have as much damage. If you run the damage for it, you don't have the survivability. So using other tools to compensate for this didn't do the cut. So I think AreaNet was afraid of how this class could be scary, especially in competitive. So at this point, it's like it's designed for PvP, honestly, because how fast sniping people can happen running this with spear, multiple stealths, which means you can start running circle around other players. But for PvE at least, it doesn't really work this good. You really lack in survivability while trying to compete with another class like the Untamed, so why would you actually play it? And another problem I have with it is the entire arrow system. So we have a cooldown on the weapon and still have arrows that you need 40 seconds to build them all, while having low cooldown skills that you would trigger for quickness trait or whatever. You will never even reach the last one. I think the arrow system needs to be abolished. It needs to be completely removed. You have cooldown, adjust the cooldown, changing through the balance, increase this, lower this, but honestly the arrows need to be removed. Keep just the wind thing for the Hawkeye, but I'm not convinced with how the arrows work. You really have to take the traits that will give you more arrows if you want to play into this. So it become advantage only when you run those traits, because now you can keep getting arrows and you can stick to this bow longer. No, it doesn't work, because the skills themselves still have cooldown and long cooldowns. Like the skill 5 have 25 seconds. So I don't think this class is cooked enough. I still like the design, I still like its archer, I still like some of its skills, and it looks so enjoyable. But since you're really ready to make classes like that, like the Amalgam, like the Ritualist, then this one's actually lacking comparing to them. Even so, I like this class, and I've honestly been working on builds, being ready for the beta for like weeks now. It's really the thing that's been in my mind. If I'm being honest and trying to really stick to how I would put them, I would say that this would be in C, maybe I would take it into B because the way it tried to make its role, it make it nice with the repetitive damage and distance like an actual archer. Maybe I could put it in B, but honestly, if I'm really trying to be harsh again, I'll put it in C. So if you remember, I could have put maybe like the Revenant A, I could have put Luminary in B, but like I said, I want to be harsh enough, so I'm gonna keep it this way. So I think this is my final verdict. Yeah, I think it's good, and I think Arianet, hopefully in the beta when we test it, will adjust all of them and make them better, especially for me. My main is the Gillshot, and they have listened with the Untamed when we complained about it and said that skill designed for a specific role, it's like a PvP class, we need at least boons to offer something else, and Arianet did that exactly, give us boons and stuff. So I'm hopeful then they will fix the Gillshot a bit, so we are not at least like for Condition Cleanse locked into survival skills again. Like the same thing never changed. This is the first time in Ranger that Arianet make a new Ranger that doesn't have strong cleanses to help with this problem. We had Mutate Condition with the Untamed, we had Burst Stance with Soulbeast, we had a lot of tools with Druid. Even across the year some of them got nerfed. It's still very strong, it doesn't really struggle with the condition side. So I really hope to see a fix, and more fixes. Like this C tier is the one that really needs fixes. B tier maybe can have better work or a little bit better work. The A tier need something like maybe nerfs like for a few things, and that's it. And the S tier like I don't have a word. It just it's crazy. Like engineer mains, rejoice. So that's it for the video. I really like to hear your own opinions. Remember, this is just my opinion, my own take. Speak in the comments if you think I missed something. Share your thoughts. I hope you found this video entertaining and helpful, and I'll be seeing you next time. Peace.